My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, September 22, 2025, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen. That's a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. And be sure, the AI voiceover, you can turn it off. I keep receiving messages from people. Some people are very happy with those voiceovers. Some people are not. YouTube is adding them. I can turn it off, but because a lot of people are happy, I won't. But you can turn to the settings in the video, right in the right corner down below, and you can choose for the original audio if you want to hear my Dutchy English. Okay, yeah, I have a finished object. I'm wearing it. I'm happy with it. I love it, I guess, and I want to share all details about it in this episode. I'm wearing my Audrey In Unst vest today. It is a pattern by Gudrun, Johnston, which came out in this spring, I guess. The moment I saw it, I knew I need that vest in my life. I am a little bit in a vest phase of my knitting life, I guess, especially the buttoned ones. I didn't own any of them, but they are so much fun to make. They are a little bit quicker because you don't need to knit the sleeves. You can wear them all year round. You can wear them with long sleeves under it, short sleeves, no sleeves, cardigan over it. They are perfect for layering up. I love all the woolly layers. You can put on an extra layer when you are cold, and you can put it out, put it off, I guess. That's different than how we say it in Dutch. Put it off when you are warm. So it's the perfect garment in my wardrobe, and it was missing a little bit. I have made several ones this year, so I have enough now, but I won't stop knitting vests. Yeah, this is my first day wearing Audrey, and I'm very happy because I had my doubts about the fit. I will tell you all about it, but let me start with the pattern itself. The thing which catched my eye was of course the lace panel in the front. I knitted it in quite dark yarn, so I have no idea how it will catch up on camera, but I really love those tiny lace panels at the front. I also love the lower neckline. That's really one of my preferences in garments. It's a bottom-up knit, and you have several options in this pattern. And the first one you need to choose in the beginning is the back side. You can make a straight hem, but you can also make a curved hem, which makes the back a little bit lower and the front a little bit higher. I didn't choose that option. I was casting on all the things. I invited Audrey on my cast on party, so it was busy, so I didn't have the brain space. It's not hard to make the curved hem. You need to knit some short rows, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to knit straight, so I picked the straight one, and I think I'm happy I did, especially because mine is a little bit oversized. It's looking better on skirts this way. I'm not sure if my Audrey also will look good on dresses. White on white is not what I really love because I'm a tiny person, and yeah, it's not good for the for the balance, I guess. So the straight hem is fine. Then you have another option. It has to do with the ribbing. You can decide in the end. You start with the ribbing anyway, both options. I really love the cast on because it's a twisted rib, and you cast on German twisted cast on and a long tail cast on. You alternate those, and it gives really a nice stretch in the ribbing, so I love that. And for the edging, for the neckline and the armholes, you have two options. You have the ribbed option, as I did, and you also have an I-cord option. I love the look of both. I prefer knitting ribbing, but the I-cord one is also fun, especially because you have a few buttons and you wear it open fronted. You can play with it, so maybe I will make such one too, but I'm happy with my ribbing right now. I'm also very happy with the yarn. You need some fingering weight yarn for this pattern, and I found this beautiful yarn in my stash. It's living in my stash for quite some years now. It is hand-dyed yarn by a Dutch dyer. Her name is Catharina and her company is called Wolverhalen. which means wool stories. Katarina also owns a shop with this name in the northern part of the Netherlands. I only visited it once. We don't have a big country, but it's quite far from where I live. I live in the south and that shop is in the north. It's one of the most beautiful yarn shops I ever saw. So I bought this yarn in the color Syrah. It's a red grape. This yarn is, as I said, hand dyed, but it's 100% British yarn, spinned in Yorkshire, and it's a mix of blue-faced Leicester and Mesham. And I don't know a lot about the different sheep breeds, but I do know that I love blue-faced Leicester, and I do know now that I love Mesham too. It was very lovely to knit with. It's a rustic yarn, it's a non-superwash. It is not itchy to me, but yeah, it is a non-superwash. I can imagine when you are sensitive it is a little bit itchy. It was so lovely working with it. It really felt nice in my hands. But what is the most special is actually while I am wearing it, the warmth. It is so special. I hardly can't describe it, but I'm quite sure if you feel the love for non-superwash woolly garments too, that you know what I mean. It's such a special warmth. I don't get that with acrylic knits, which I used to wear before I was a knitter. I bought them in stores, and then I started knitting with superwash yarns, which is also nice, but it's absolutely not the same as the warmth that a non-superwash layer is giving you. It is, my whole torso is warmed in such a natural way. It's as if I am hugged all the time. So and no one is around. I really feel loved by my garment. It feels so good. It feels so good. So I checked Katarina's web shop. She also has a web shop, and there are a lot of beautiful colors available. This one still, and also others. I have no idea if she ships out of the Netherlands, but if you are interested in this yarn, you might ask, and yeah, maybe there's a solution. And if you visit the Netherlands, please visit that part of the Netherlands. It's a beautiful part. We went on holiday there quite often when we camped in the Netherlands. And the yarn shop, it's really worth it. But oh, I love it. I use 2.5mm needles for the ribbing, metal, and 3.25 bamboo needles for the stockinette and the lace part. The bamboo was not really necessary. I have bamboo needles and metal needles, and I'm a little bit of a loose knitter, a little bit of a messy knitter, and bamboo can help to keep your stitches neater. The metal needles, they are smoother. Normally with rustic yarns you don't really need bamboo needles. The smoother needles work out pretty fine, but I was knitting all the other things with my needles, so I picked bamboo, and actually the combination was really working nice. It was really feeling natural, and I loved knitting with this needle and yarn combination, so I will keep that in mind. It was not the right needle size for me. I think knitting on 3mm needles would have been better because of the gauge and all those stuff. I will come back to that later. This is, as I said, a bottom-up knit, and this part, the body part, was actually quite boring, I must confess. It felt endless. There's not much happening. It's a little bit of shaping, but only on a few points, and yeah, just knitting back and forth stockinette. I don't think I need to explain. I was getting bored during knitting, but on the other side, it is the perfect knit to have in a project bag, and you can grab when you need a mindless knit. There are a lot of moments which are perfect for mindless knits. For me, it was fine that it was on my needles for a few months, and I could knit every now and then, and the body did grow, and then I was at the fun part because it's happening right here. The lace is very much fun to knit. It's not difficult, it's actually quite easy, and there's some shaping, so you need to pay attention. I was a little bit worried about the size. Quite often I choose to knit my garments fitted. not much positive ease or maybe even negative ease. So I always search for the size which is most close to my bust circumference, which is 89 centimeters. That's not always a good idea because sometimes a design is designed with a specific amount of positive or negative ease. Yeah, but I don't care. and most of the time it works pretty good for me, but I do have some garments which when I'm wearing them I think they are a little bit on the tight side. So one of the themes of my cast on party was pick one size bigger than you normally do. So I did with this one and I picked size 4. I think by head size 3 was 88 centimeter bust circumference. The finished garment, I guess. And my size is 89, so normally I would have picked that size. But now I went up one size. I chose size 4, which has a bust circumference of 93 centimeter. The design is made to be worn with 0 to 5 centimeter of positive inch, so that was perfect. Only I didn't have gauge and my bust circumference ended at 100 centimeters, 7 centimeters more than I supposed to have. I checked my gauge after blocking. It was 22 stitches and 30 rows instead of 24 stitches and 34 rows. The row gauge I already noticed because the pattern describes the amount of rows you need to knit. That is not what I prefer. I prefer the designer to tell me how many centimeters I need to knit because quite often I don't know my gauge or my gauge is off. So I had to play around with it a little bit. I measured and I knitted quite a few rows less for the body part. And also the front parts, they were a little bit more exciting to skip some rows because there's much more happening. But I thought, okay, then my armholes and my neckline will be a little bit lower if I have too many rows, or if my rows will have too many centimeters. But that's okay, and I skipped a few rows in the end and I'm perfectly happy with how it turned out. It probably would have been better if I picked one needle size lower, 3mm needles. Although I love the fabric, it's quite drapey and yeah, it's really lightweight and I really love how it looks. Yeah, I could also picked one size smaller. Yeah, I must confess I was really worried about the fit. Let me bring you with me because I filmed a little bit during that fitting process. Hello, hello! It is raining very, very hard, so if you hear some background noise, it's finally autumn. I am fitting my Audrey In Unst vest. That's always a special moment when you just put the whole thing together. I had a mistake in my left front panel. I was doubting if the mistake was made by me or if it was a mistake in the pattern. It was my mistake. The pattern is absolutely correct. I close the shoulder seams where it is with the 3 needle bind off. I really love doing that when I'm knitting bottom up garments to close the seams. It's very simple. You just have the stitches for both sides, for the front panel and the back panel on separate needles, and with a 3rd needle you knit those stitches together and bind them off as you usually do. I really love doing that. You can also sew them together. Yeah, I love doing this. It's very quick and quite easy. I always pick a DPN or a knitting needle which is a few sizes bigger than the needles I'm knitting with, because it gets a little bit tight quite quickly, so you don't want this to be too tight. Yeah, then the size, it's very exciting because there's no ribbing yet. Yeah, a little bit right here, but the ribbing is definitely the finishing touch. When I put it on, I saw the armholes and also it's looking very messy and white and I am a little bit worried. But when I check this side, I already picked up the stitches for this armhole and I knitted a few rounds of ribbing, and as you can see, it is not as big as this one anymore, so the ribbing is holding it together. I think it might be perfect. I'm very curious now. My first yarn skein is all knitted up. So it's time to wind my second skein into a yarn cake. I really love the yarn. I only need the second yarn skein. I'm knitting size 4. I only need the second yarn skein for the ribbing. This woolly yarn is really perfect. It was quite funny because I just put it on the vest for fitting and then I received a phone call. So I was calling for a few minutes, and while I was chatting, I felt this amazing, lovely, warm woolly layer warming up my torso, especially my back because it was open at the front. And yeah, that's really the power of wool. I really want to finish this garment now, so I will knit the borders and then I will show you. If you wonder about this part in the ceiling, there was a big leak several years ago. It needs to be replaced, but we are not 100% sure the leak is solved. So it's a little bit of a risk to put a lot of time and materials and money in repairing it. So it's still the way it is. And it's really not looking nice. And I always try to keep it out of your view. But it was not an option today. I also have my laundry right here. So yeah, it's just real life. Okay, I am knitting the borders of this vest, and now I am working on the button bands at the front. This is the button band and this is the buttonhole band. I picked some buttons from my button stash. I don't have matching buttons in the color of the yarn. I think I would love that most, but I don't want to go to the yarn store to pick matching buttons. I have a yarn shop quite close to where I live with a very big stash of buttons, very much choice. But I don't like searching for the matching button because it's quite overwhelming. So I decided to be okay with what I have in stash. I think wooden buttons are always okay. I really love the wooden look. There are some doubts I will show you. I have this very handy tool to spread my buttons evenly. I want 7. That's also what the pattern recommends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This button is at the widest part of my chest when I place it right here, although it will not be really important because there's quite some positive ease in this vest, but especially when you are making a fitting garment, it will gape. I prefer the darker ones. I was afraid I would because now I need to undo the bind off, knit 1 extra row of ribbing because the ribbing is a little bit too narrow for these size buttons. So undo the bind off, knit 1 extra row of ribbing, bind off again, and then it will be wide enough. Okay, so let's do that. Audrey is off the needles. I finished the knitting part yesterday, the ribbing at the neckline. I have my doubts about the size. It is looking so big on me. I have to check my gauge. I didn't do that. I know it's a risk. Yesterday my mom was visiting me and she fitted this little vest too, and it looked so good on her. Her size is a little bit bigger than mine, and it was perfect on her body. So I regret a little bit I didn't pick a size smaller, but maybe after blocking I can find a style to wear this which also looks good. Maybe, yeah. So let's block. Fingers crossed. So when I finished the garment yesterday with the buttons and I put it on for the first time, I was really excited, and not in a good way, because I was afraid it would be way too big on me. But I must confess, I'm surprised. It is big on me, but I think I'm really happy with the fit. I feel good in it. It's really wearing lovely and nice, and also I think I love the look of it. It's only the first day I'm wearing it, so most of the time your garments need a few days. You need to know each other. So we need some more time to be sure how our love will be, but I think we might be good. Yeah, so I'm relieved. So yeah, Audrey In Unst, it's the perfect garment to wear right now. Autumn is coming, it's beautiful weather, but temperatures are a little bit lower, and that makes this as the perfect garment to wear. Yeah, I really want to cast on another one, maybe pretty soon, because it will take some time and it will be in a project bag. I absolutely recommend this pattern. I had a lot of fun and I'm really happy with this garment. Okay, next I have a new cast on, which is really exciting to me. It is hanging right there. It is one of my dragons. September is the perfect month for slaying or trying to collab with your dragons. It's a Michaelmas theme. Michaelmas will be celebrated next Monday, 29th of September. And I won't deep dive in it, but the idea is that you remove the dragons out of your life so you don't have to bring them with you in the dark winter time. Dragons are obviously things in your life which are not making you happy, and in your creative life you can think of unfinished projects, messy yarn stashes, new techniques you want to learn but you are a little bit afraid of, or you are thinking negative thoughts, postponing things, all those kind of things. I picked 3 dragons in my creative life. One of them was reorganizing my works in progress. I showed all of my whips in my episode last week. I have quite some things going on the needles, and that's absolutely fine for me, but it was feeling a little bit overwhelming and I lost the overview. And now it's feeling so good. Before I organized it, it gave me a little bit of an overwhelming, irritated, negative feeling. And after the organizing process, it feels very peaceful, HeartJumping actually, and I'm really motivated to work on all those lovely projects. So that dragon is slayed. My second dragon is organizing my yarn stash, and behind the scenes I am preparing that battle. I hope I can film it for next week's episode, we shall see. And my third dragon was re-knitting one of my favorite cardigans I found in a vintage store, I think 10 years ago. It was already a vintage cardigan by then. It became my favorite cardigan. I couldn't knit colorwork. I thought I would never be able to knit colorwork. I know now that knitting colorwork is absolutely not as hard as I thought it would be. It's actually quite easy, but I didn't know. So I did wear this cardigan all the time, and the yarn, it's just old, there are holes, it's looking a little bit, in Dutch we would say smoezelig, smootsie? I don't know the word in English. So I want to re-knit this cardigan. I don't have a pattern, I couldn't find a matching pattern, so I decided just re-knit the cardigan. I have the yarn in stash since 2020, so I'm postponing it for quite a while, and now it is happening. I will share the details later, but it's making me very happy. This is actually my third try. It has nothing to do with knitting the colorwork without a chart. It is quite a big yarn weight, a bulky weight yarn. I'm knitting with Rauma Vams, and the big stitches make the colorwork quite visible, so I can count the stitches pretty good, and I know when I have to increase, and that's all pretty good. But getting gauge was a little bit more challenging. I'm really curious how it will work out, but it's really making me happy. The yarn feels lovely, and it's really special to see this cardigan grow. It is my favorite cardigan, and I'm remaking my favorite cardigan now. The colors are quite the same, only that this brown one is a little bit off, but this was the best I could find, and I really love it. It's really making me happy. The only thing is, because of the bulky weight yarn, my hand hurts a little bit. Yesterday I thought my hand, I thought, what's happening? What did I do? And then I realized that every time when I knit with a bulky weight yarn, it's a little bit hard on my hand, and I am a little bit disappointed that I can't knit endless on this project, because when I was knitting on it on 6.5mm needles, it's flying off your needles. So when I was knitting, I thought maybe I can finish it in September. That was absolutely not my plan, but it would be lovely to slay this dragon completely in September, but I don't think my hand likes that. So only a little bit of knitting on this one every day, and that's also good, but I'm not the most patient person. But Last but not least, I want to show you something new. Last weekend I visited a knitting event organized by a lovely Dutch knitter. It was a very small event. We were with a group of 30 ladies at a beautiful location. And all day was about knitting, sharing inspiration, sharing lovely words, sharing lovely food. It was a good day. Very connecting and inspiring. I didn't go home empty-handed. There were a lot of lovely ladies who made all those tiny gifts to share with all the people. And there were some stands where you could buy beautiful stuff. So I did. I won't show it all. It's too much. But I want to show you this because this project bag was gifted to me by a lovely viewer of the podcast. She made it herself and she told me that this fabric made her think of me. It's actually not a vintage fabric, it is a new fabric, but the combination of brown and oranges is really heart jumping to me. And also the feeling that someone takes the time and put so much love in a knitting project, in a sewing project, especially for me, it's really heart jumping too. I thought when I have a new project bag, I can buy new yarn. There was a Dutch dyer, her name is Leah and her company is called Koperdraadje and she was selling yarn. She dyes the most beautiful colorways. And she also designed a pattern which is called the Makkie Shawl. Makkie means easy. The Dutch word for easy is makkelijk. And makkie is a short, funny way of saying, oh, it's a makkie. Oh, it's easy. So she made a very easy shawl pattern. A lot of ladies knitted the shawl pattern or were knitting the shawl. And I was really feeling that sparkle inside when I saw it because it was a garter stitch shawl and it reminded me of one of my own favorite shawls I made many years ago with no pattern, also in garter stitch, and I did wear it so much it needs to be replaced by now. And I thought, I am already knitting a shawl. I'm knitting my traveler shawl also with some garter stitch sections. I probably should give it more attention if I want to wear it this autumn or winter. So I thought, let's not buy new yarn for a new shawl. I have a lot of yarns. I don't need another shawl. And suddenly I thought, I have kids. They need shawls too. I texted one of my girls, do you want a shawl? Do you need a shawl? And she said, yes, I want one. We called and I sent her some pictures of the different colorways and she made her choice. And I must confess, really happy with her choice. It's always exciting when you let someone else pick the colors, but she did a good job. This is a merino sock yarn with a little bit of purple and soft pink, maybe warm orange. And she said, I want to combine it with a fuzzy brown. So when you say that to Sarah, it's a heart jumping moment. So a brown mohair it will be. So yeah, I'm really looking forward. Also, the shawl pattern is really a good stash buster for your single skeins. You can hold one skein together with a mohair, but you can also combine two of these skeins, two fingering weight skeins. You can play with all the yarns, you can make scrappy ones. And it has a very clever construction. I will tell you more when I will knit it, but the pattern is available in her web shop and also on Ravelry, and it is available in Dutch, in English and in German. I will link it down below. This was it for today. I wish you a very good week, hopefully filled with enough heart jumping moments. Remember, if you can't find them, create them because we need them. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!